What it do, KTTV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Daily K Podcast. And on today's episode, we have the author of The Modern Day Businessman, Success Without Sacrifice, the founder of the $1 Billion Body, Mr. Nicholas Bayerle. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you having me here. First off, the intro really sets the tone. I love that. That was really, really amazing. Second off, just kind of take it real quick with everyone so we could break this open really cool, is that my life was transformed for the negative in one moment. It's probably not the most motivating thing in the world. Caused me to gain 60 pounds. I graduated high school with a 1.8 GPA. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit. It robbed me of everything that I ever dreamed of in life. One moment. What I found, though, is that if it can happen for the negative, then it could probably happen for the positive as well. People think change happens over time. Like, I'll get better over time, 1%. But actually, change always happens in an instant. You think about someone struggling with alcohol addiction. When they finally stop, like they're not an alcoholic anymore, they stop drinking, it may have taken a long time to get to the point where they finally made a decision where they stopped. But there's always that moment. And my goal here is to create a space like that because a space like this wasn't available for me when I was trying to lose weight and get healthy. And I thought that it was impossible for me to change and be successful growing up in a middle-class neighborhood. I had no clue because I didn't have places like this. So thank you for creating a space like this and for people that stay at the very end. We're going to rock it out and create those moments that change everything forever together.
Oh, look, that is what I look forward to, man, because being able to change the culture, to change the dynamics, to give that future the information that we didn't have. That's why we're here, man. You know, that's why I get up and do this. So glad to share the platform, man, that you would come on to give me some of this. But before we jump into things, I got to know, because it's been crazy down here. I think you're in Austin. It got a little crazy up there. How have you been doing during this pandemic, man? Just staying safe.
Yeah, where are you located again?
Right up the street.
Cool. So I was in California, Southern California, born and raised my whole life. And it was just interesting. Yeah, I think everyone's trying to do the best that they can with the knowledge that they have. Difference between excellence and perfectionism. Perfectionism is expecting a guarantee in a world that gives no guarantees. Excellence is giving the best that you can based on your current knowledge base, your current network, your current resources. Out of everything that you have, what's the best decision that you can make? I believe everyone's been trying to do that. When pandemic first hit, I came back from an event, and it was kind of this thing that we talked about. Oh, there's this thing happening in China. That was where we were at the time. So coming home, and I had a newborn. My son's right now 19 months old. He was born December 30th. So only 2 months before this all happened. At that point, I'm like, don't kiss my baby, don't touch my baby. No one's gonna talk to him for like the first couple of weeks. Everyone's, I want to come meet your baby. No, wash your hands, get out of here. I was already in this protective mode. Yeah. And then leading into something that at the time we had no clue what it was about. And so consistently, man, it's been amazing because we've been making decisions based on giving excellence. What's the best that we can do as a family, not just what the world's saying or what everyone else is telling us, but taking all of that and saying, hey, for our family, what's the best decision we can make? Yeah. At the time, no one touched my baby. Since then, learning and growing, it's changed for us and maybe changed for others in different ways as well. Yeah, inside of that, it's also inspired to start a business. Just to kind of throw this like a little bit sideways, is that staying safe and all these different things is my father ran a business my entire life growing up. And one of the big things that I saw was that there was also shakes a different way in around 2007, 2008 economic collapse. My dad was running a service-based business that was very much so a business that was bought by people that had extra. It was carpet cleaning, tile cleaning, upholstery cleaning. If you're choosing between clean carpets and food, you're probably going to go with food. And there's always a market. There's always ways around it. And I saw that it was people that invested in themselves and made pivots that really changed industry. There was a guy named Joe Polish. I don't know if you heard this guy. He owns Genius Network. Has like a 400-person mastermind event of the people that pay $25,000. A huge network. That's why it's called Genius Network. Great network of people. He was a carpet cleaner, just like my dad and just like me at one point. And during that time, he made strategic pivots. He didn't look at the storm. He looked through the storm to the other side and continued to change and innovate. And while most people out there are wishing that things would go back to how they were, it will never happen. Some people just love how things are. it'll never stay the same, but we're evolving into something brand new. And it's those people that made the transition to online back in the day, and the people that got on social media that seems so obvious to us now. Those same decisions are being made. And my mentor, Russell Brunson, a great friend of mine, he said something about if you've seen Bubba Gump Shrimp, the what's the movie? The
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And he wanted to create Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, but if you go back and watch the scene on YouTube, they went out and they failed. It was just a promise that he had to his friend Bubba, and then he was Gump, that they were going to create this shrimp. He was going to be a shrimp boat captain, and it was that guy who knew everything. And he was just like, if you know him from the movie, it's like he would just kind of do anything, play ping pong for hours and not even know. He meets the president and says, "I gotta pay." So he goes to this thing, dude, and they get nothing. They're catching nothing but trash, and everyone else is bringing in the boatloads. Well, they're so dumb that there's a huge storm that comes in, kind of like what's happened in the world, and they decided they were going to go shrimping. They're going to go out into the storm. They weren't supposed to. Yet what ended up happening was that when they came back to the docks, everyone else's boat had been destroyed. Yeah, because they decided to play it stay safe during the storm. And guess what? That's what launched him into the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. Yes, they created the biggest shrimp boat because they were the only one left. And many times right now is a time where we can go out in the storm and weather the storm. And a lot of people, just go hide in the shoreline and wait for things to pass. Well, there's a great opportunity out there for business owners and just visionaries in general. Anyone who has a company, there's never been a better time to be alive, no matter what someone on the news says or what someone in your family says.
And it's so easy to get caught up into that, man. I think about when I first started, I was it was just in 2020. I was working and I was doing a lot in education as a school administrator. So I was working with First Lego League. And so we were doing one of the world competition. And man, I'm emceeing this thing. We having fun. The exact next weekend, it changed. And so instead of choosing to come back, slow down, figure out what's going to happen, I immediately used the platform to start connecting people around the country as far as educators. So what is your plan for virtual learning? What is your plan? And so we had some people down in Brownsville. And so they didn't have the necessities. And the Houston Public Library watched the show and they were able to connect with these schools in Brownsville, man, and be able to plug them up. So, dude, this was the time.
Yep.
And so ever since then, man, I worked and then I get to talk to people like you because of that choice back then, man.
Dude, congratulations. I mean, dude, we can talk about it on here and it sounds so normal. You interview people and you get these people on that done amazing things. Yet oftentimes we forget how things used to be, maybe even growing up. Like where I went to school, there wasn't many people that were thinking they were going to do big things. I look at some of the kids and I go, oh my gosh, like that kid went and created this YouTube channel. This person's changing the face of this industry. But there's a very small amount of people that are getting lit up. And I appreciate you for creating a spot to get some of those people to pop and explode. Because everyone grows up with dreams. Yeah. Someone told me like, they had a really nice car. And what's so funny is that when they go to the gas stations, no little boy would look at that car and go, oh, that's just a rich person's. No, the kids looks at the car and goes, oh my gosh, Dad, look at that thing. Like, look how awesome that is. And sometimes we got to get back to that childlikeness, dreaming again, having desires and not just getting stuck in the rut of working. Just a statistic, 97% of people by the age of 65 are either dead or dead broke, relying on their friends, family, and government for their main source of income. So a lot of times looking at the natural decisions of what everyone else is doing, if you want to be successful, I mean, look at 97%. You just do like the exact opposite of that, and you're probably going to be doing pretty freaking good. When people are hiding, they're scared, you go the opposite way. Same thing goes with investing. I'm not an investing expert, so please do not go like invest in something crazy because I say this, yet the time to buy something isn't when the whole world is buying it. Yeah. Right. It's when people are scared. And that's when all the investors get excited. They go, oh, gosh, everyone's afraid of real estate. We're going in on real estate.
We're going in, man.
Yep.
Look, it's so funny that when you would say, that part, and then you would link it to investing, immediately what came in my head was a book I read by Ray Dalio. And he said, if everybody thinking the same thing, then you probably should go the opposite direction, man. And so then that is kind of the way I took it, man. Like I say,
The short version is only a dead fish floats downstream. Because everyone else, all the live fish, all the ones that are alive, they're always swimming up against the current.
Come on, man. So now, when we say $1 billion body, people thinking we talking going to work out or something like that, but we talking about the trifecta, man. So give us a little bit of background on you and how did the $1 billion body even come to fruition? Because it's a lot over there, man.
Yeah, it's wild to think about now. I was just a kid that at 4 years old, my parents split up. I noticed right away that the difficulties of having the two different homes with I have a stepmom, a stepdad. My stepmom has a family that I kind of know, and then my dad has a family, and then my mom has a family, and I have a stepdad who has a family. So I'm getting ripped all these different directions. Also, generally, parents that get divorced, they can act like, oh, we're like great friends. I don't know who your parents were, but my parents weren't about to be good friends. They even told me the only reason they talked is just because me, like I was the mediator, right? It's like, once you're 18, we're never going to talk again. The thing is, they actually kind of became friends after I turned 18. Like, couldn't you have done that earlier? Around 7 years old, I actually wrote my first suicide letter. I remember just thinking, like, all that pressure, and just as a pause for someone listening right now, is that your perception is your reality, especially as a child. Many times you go back and you maybe talk to your parents or talk to people that you knew growing up, and you bring up a situation where you're like, hey, do you remember when you hurt me this way? They won't even remember.
Yeah.
A lot of times they didn't even mean it. Yet because it was real to you makes it real. Whether you thought the person, whatever, like I remember being 5 years old and this girl totally hurt my feelings. I guarantee you she wasn't trying to hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
But my feelings were still hurt, which means that it was real because I experienced it. So just a side thing for people that sometimes, feel like they can't tell their story because maybe there's people out there, family members that say, hey, I wrote a book on this, right? I spoke on stage in front of 5,000 about this exact topic. I got mentioned in a book that sold like millions of copies about this thing. So because of that, so many people come to me and go, but people always disqualify my story. They say, oh, that never happened. It wasn't that way. Your parents weren't that bad. Like, it was your experience, and you get to tell them. So I remember being around that time, and I just thought, why am I alive? Like, what's the point of this if all I ever am is this source of frustration? It's just like, oh, this person has to pay child support and this has to happen. And I remember that not even being something my family could really talk about. And that just kind of bled over to, for me, all I ever wanted in life was my father's approval. All I ever wanted was just like, this is the son in whom I'm well pleased. Like, this is what I wanted. And so I did everything in order to get that. And I always felt like I was going to get left. I think this kind of stemmed from maybe going to daycare as a kid, going to preschool, getting dropped at school every single day, the no real home, right? Not feeling like I ever had that home that I could go to where I felt comfortable. People talk about like going home. I was like, oh, like I went to my dad's so I could go to my mom's, and then I went to my mom's, and then I went back to my dad's. And all that always made me feel like I was going to be left. And it caused all this anxiety where I just remember like, feeling like I was always going to get left. But also on top of that, I just felt like I always wanted my dad's approval. So I'd push myself until I'd break a bone. It was like whatever needed to happen. I'd get on my motorcycle. I'd be jumping jumps. And if I couldn't get his attention, I'd just keep jumping higher, jumping higher, and jumping higher, and jumping higher. I'm like, one day I will do something that my dad would be proud of.
Yeah.
And that really led me to around 13 where my life transformed for the negative in one moment. And I had it all wrong, man. But I thought I had it all right. I went to my dad. I still remember, small house, walking down the hallway to go through the kitchen, down into 3 steps into the garage and out the back side of the garage. As I'm following him, as I normally would, this is where the dudes would hang out, where you smoke cigarettes and drink beers, but that's just how it was. And we'd hang out in the backyard. And on the way there, I go, Dad, I knew this was going to be the thing that was going to make him just like love me. I remember sitting there, I'm dreaming it up, right? I'm like, what would make my dad love me? Like, he always wanted to be a professional motocross racer. I'm not performing at the level that I need to be a professional, to be the best. What if I went all in? What if I were to say, I'm going to be the best? I'm going to go all in, do everything possible. Let's get a tutor. Let's go on the road. Let's do this. So I'm like, I get this master plan. I go to my dad. I go, Dad, I want to be the best motocross racer in the world. We're going to go all in. We're going to get the tutor. We're going to do all the stuff. And this is like that last moment, that like last grasp, my last breath. And he looks at me and he goes, you'll never be the best. And it just crushed me because there's movies like Talladega Nights where they make fun of if you're not first, you're last, right? Like this was a joke. When I first watched that movie, my only worth was in being first. I literally thought it was like gospel.
Yeah.
I was like saying amen. You know, if you're not first, you're last. I'm like, that's exactly right. Like if you're second, you might as well not even try. Like
first loser.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it was a straw that broke the camel's back. I didn't talk to my father for 3.5 years. I went from a 3-point-something GPA to a 1.8. I only graduated high school because I went to summer school every year because I was required. We didn't even have a high school graduation party for me because no one thought I was actually graduating. I got lucky or like shooed through the system.
Yeah.
I gained 60 pounds throughout that time. So as you can see now, I don't have 60 pounds on me, which lost all my confidence. Dude, I didn't talk to anyone. I put 400 days played on one video game.
Come on, man.
Immersed myself in one thing and didn't have a girlfriend throughout that entire period. So when I talk about this concept of three-dimensional businessman and what we've created that reaches over 2 million men every single year right now, that we sold thousands of copies of books for, is that I was failing in each one of these dimensions, right? I didn't have a mission and vision that was bigger than a product or service. I had no vision for my life. I wasn't investing in myself, the things that I can't outsource. And I realized that through the first step of, I went to school one day and this kid pulled out this colorful bag and I was like, what's in there? And it was this thing called fruit. Like I had never seen that about that, man. We ate like schwans, like it was like delivery, potato skins and mini corn dogs. That was like almost every day of the week. And again, this is amazing, right? We did the best we could with what we knew. We didn't know any better, dude. Like soda every day. Like it is what it is. It was the experience that I had. And I remember him saying this. He said, I'm a boxer. My trainer put me on a meal plan so I could weigh in at the correct weight and I could be a high performer. I was like, what? Like I'd heard about starving yourself to lose weight. Yeah. Or like drink a smoothie or have a slim fast. Something like that. But, you know, this was the point where you like start. I told you I didn't have a podcast list. I didn't have no YouTube video, no course to buy. I was just all alone thinking, well, I'm screwed up. I don't know what the problem is. So I'd starve myself for a few days, not feel any different. And I go on life. I decide, okay, cool. Sounds good. I'll eat the colorful stuff. Let me grab the fruit, get motivated, grab fruit, all these things. 2 weeks, I'm 11 pounds down.
Come on, man.
Like results got me excited.
Yes, sir.
Dale, I was like, And think about it for 1 second. For the people out there, 11 pounds, that's amazing. No, dude, I still look like crap. Like, I didn't look hardly any different at all. But I felt different.
That's it.
I could see that I could change this situation. See, I covered myself with logos on my shirts. I covered myself with the same jacket every single day so I could hide my man boobs and hide my fat on my stomach and try to make myself look taller. I'd stand on the heel of my shoe, and I did all these things because I thought I couldn't change my situation, and I wasn't good enough. And you look at someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who would always cover up the best parts of his body and always expose the worst parts. He'd always expose his calves. Completely different mindset. Why? Because he thought that if I just look at those worst areas of my body, if I focus on them, I know I could change them. For me, I thought I need to cover up every bad part of my body and just show my hair and my face because those are the only things I got going for me. I need to make sure that nobody sees this other problem because I can't change my situation. This gave me hope I could change it. Yeah. No gym, no nothing. Lost 60 pounds in 6 months. And I got vision. Like I got confidence. I could reconnect with my father. I went out there. I ended up meeting my now wife of 9 years. I have a son who's 19 months old. And I had these two areas of my life that were prospering. I got married. I got shredded. I hired a coach at 19 years old. My best man and my best friend freaking transformed my life, got me fit, shredded. I got in the gym. I was feeling good. I had this wife now, and I had never had a job in my whole life. Yeah. I'd never been to college. I had no resume. And I was just so hell-bent on, I just never wanted to do what I didn't want to do. Like, that's why I started schools. I said, why? Why am I learning this? What's it going to do for me? So I got this reality check where all of a sudden I had this, someone told me that you find your purpose where your passions and your responsibilities overlap. And I had been going after passions my whole life. I loved health and I loved this and I loved that, loved surfing, loved motocross, but it was never going to get me to the vision where I wanted to bring my family. I thought, what is my responsibilities? And really at that point, it was like to be a great husband. And so my wife and I launched our first company then, and we failed for 3 years. This was like the one Achilles heel for me where it's like, I'm still failing. And throughout this process, we ended up creating a health company. I had lost 60 pounds. I helped these other businessmen do the same. And scaling that to hundreds of thousands of dollars in that process of working with those guys is when I realized I'm helping them lose the weight, but this wasn't my total picture. Like, instead of being like most companies where I have one product for one person, I'm going to serve one person in the areas that we all struggle with as a man and as a businessman.
Yeah.
So I'm not talking about the guys who clock in, clock out, and collect a paycheck. I 100% respect that. There's other people out there that are really good at that, because there's other things that go on with that. Like, you're excited on Friday and you're sad on Sunday. I don't know what that's like, because as a business owner, you don't know when it's okay to go in and go out. You're only in the game or out of the game. You don't know those different things. If you should work on Saturday or Sunday, you're just like, I need to freaking make it. I
got to get this done.
And so with that, I started seeing that my father, myself, going through this, that if I didn't transform my body, if I didn't have the great relationship with the family and coaching these men, I was helping them lose the weight. But then as soon as they'd argue with their wife, then they wouldn't hit the gym. Their businesses had terrible systems and they had no network. All their friends were unhealthy. So they'd work with me. Woohoo. As long as they only talk to me, they're fit. They go back to their friends, and what are they eating? They're eating freaking those puffy, like
food
rolls with cheese dip and all these different things, going out to the bars. So I thought, what if I created the brotherhood? And that's even where body became so amazing for me, because it transcends $1 billion body, where it's like, look and feel like $1 billion. That's how the brand started.
Yeah.
And BDB encompasses everything we do. But I thought, what's even bigger thing of body? And body is really like a community. It's always been used for the word body. There's body of water. There's body as in like one community. And really that's what we created, is we created these like-minded businessmen that all wanted to prosper in health, wealth, and relationships, that didn't want to sacrifice the things that mattered for the things that didn't. They wanted to sacrifice all the things that didn't matter in their life so that they have the things they do, which is where success without sacrifice came from. Whereas if I were to say businessman to the general person out there, they would say greedy, addicted to drugs, overweight, out of shape, neglect their family, divorced, alimony. Those would be descriptive words that would come out. I decided I'm going to change the dictionary definition of that. I'm going to create the community that not only empowers the men to prosper in the areas they can't outsource, right? Like, I believe you can outsource your marketing. Someone else can push buttons and run Facebook ads. But I've always built a business out of, what do I need to have to be successful? And in business, you need stuff like lead generation, lead nurture, conversion, sales systems, deliverables, products and services, and retention, resell, and upsell. You need to sell people again. You need to upsell people to more products. You need to keep people as a customer for life. Those are needed. Without that, you fail. Without doing taxes, you fail. And I thought, inside of the man's life, the businessman, working on the man in the business, not just the business around the man. What is required? And I thought, well, you can't outsource your health. You can get plans and all these things, but mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, no one's going to eat your food for you at night. No one's going to make sure you don't get that Reese's peanut butter cup and you have all those little, shavings and wrappers down the side of your bed. Eat them into bed, and you're too lazy to throw them away. How do I know that? No one's gonna have sex with your wife for you. Like, I would hope.
Not for you, but
no one's going to do that for you. Like, you don't want that to happen for you. So we probably learn relationships. No one's going to connect with your family for you. No one's going to do any of that for you. You can learn, but that's what's required as a man to be successful. And also casting the vision, learning how to steward money. These are all things that we cannot run away from. And if we can't run away from it, then why is the talk around it in the businessman's life like, oh, yeah, I need to hire that personal trainer, dude. I don't know anything about that stuff. Like, I just do business. Like, oh, that's okay for learning how to create logos and graphic design and things that you can outsource. But this is your responsibility. This is step number one. Right? It's like, the investment in ourselves is we want everyone else to invest in our companies and invest in our vision, invest in these things, but we can't buy good quality food for ourselves. And we want to not invest. We want to shortcut ourselves and then expect everyone else to believe in us and pay high dollar. Like, man, we just got it back asswards. And so that's when I created the company. And over the last couple of years, it's been awesome, man. We've not only reached millions of men, have thrown these live events all throughout the last couple of years. We launched the Brother in 2016, go in 2017, truly took off in 2017. Since then as well, like, we believe in giving back to solve problems before they get to us. So I remember me in school, I didn't have the education, didn't have the mentorship. So We've sponsored over 42,000 kids to go to after-school programs through the profit that we make inside of the company. Not because we're a nonprofit. It's not what we do. We are for profit, and with the money, invest. And if we weren't profitable, we couldn't do that. And it's been, dude, such a joy. And so that's where Modern Day Businessman came out, to reach more people. And it's been a phenomenal process. And it was all discovered through my own issues, my own breakthrough, and then seeing that even when I was helping men with one area, it was like plugging a hole in a boat with a lot of other holes. More pressure just went to those, and it just kept flooding the entire thing. Now we're getting them in the community with the like-minded men, with the equipping. I just had Pedro Adeo in today teaching one of our elite groups, who's a guy that went from $3 million in debt, depressed for 3 years on the sofa. Luckily, his wife believed in him, to now building a multi-8-figure business in a 9,000 square foot house in Orange County with his family, impacting millions of people. And I bring in people like that most people would never get access to be able to train and equip these guys to succeed.
Come on, man. Dude, that's what it's about, though. I just think about inside of the group, and my experiences. I've been there that short time. I remember one day it was a guy by the name of, because I've talked to him like twice, 3 times maybe, Jacob Kent.
Yeah.
And so Jacob posted, he said, look, man, I got a 6-figure company, but I'm just willing to pay for that conversation to be able to push it to the 7-figure company. I was seeing that post. I said, well, hell, Jacob, type it. I'm here and I'm trying to get the 6 figures. How can I talk to you? And so, man, it was just so awesome. And I think as a businessman, you got to be able to get out and make that connection and push that relationship. So ever since then, Jacob came and we talked about 3-4 times, man, and each time I got my notepad and we just have the conversation, because it's all about the media and the things that he was doing. But just letting a testament to the group, man. So I appreciate that you got that going, man.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, keep connecting up. And it really came from me going into the business. It's like, how did I have that breakthrough? Years. I moved to San Diego thinking, oh, I'm from here. I moved back to San Diego with my wife. Like, we're going to build a business. Dude, I didn't know anyone. I was like a lone person on a rock. And a lot of times when we're trying to build this business, everyone that believed a certain way, that didn't have that same epiphany to go after bigger things, they're all of a sudden, like, a lot of times tearing you down. You're trying to become a new person, and they're like, who's this guy? Like, because the person that got you to where you're at in life can't live. If you want to go to the next level, that person has to die. And that's scary for people. They're like, yo, why are you wearing the polo button up? Like, you were just wearing this the other day. Like, and you're wanting to go to events, you're wanting to speak, you want to get your message out there. They're like, but you used to suck at speaking. What it makes you think about, Jesus wasn't a prophet in his hometown. Everyone's like, oh, I know this guy. He used to build freaking tables as a carpenter. Oh, like, I saw him skin his knee. Like, you think, oh, I seen him bleed. Like, he couldn't do anything there, because everyone's like, oh, I know that guy. They were tearing him down. Everywhere else that he went, everyone's like, they saw him for who he was then. Everyone else was trying to pull him back to who he used to be, the old story. And everyone continues to do that. And so it wasn't until I started investing in community. Relationships will always cost you 2 things, but it'll always be worth it: time and money. Back in the day, I didn't have any money. So I do go everywhere. Help anyone. You got a network, a mentor that's driving around. You can serve. You can invest time. I was driving them around LA, Orange County. I'll be the chauffeur. I'll do anything to get around you. And then as that started shortcutting, I realized, oh wow, I can invest money to buy my time back at a discount. I can invest in things like masterminds and mentors, where I can then get straight access to these people that their ceiling becomes my floor. Right, I could learn how to build a coaching business and all this stuff, but I don't know any of this stuff. I failed in business, never producing more than $3,000 a month for 3 years. Most people join a program, they want to be a millionaire their first year. They want to make 6 figures their first year. Dude, congrats! I was out there 3 years, never turning a profit. And it wasn't until I got to people that had already done it before, and I was like, listen, I'll just do the things that you learned through your millions of dollars that you made and invested. All the failures, keep that. You share them with me. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do the failures. You share them with me. I'm going to do this. And though it was very, very difficult, I like to say it, like, when you have a good mentor, their ceiling becomes your floor. You're supposed to build upon what the world's done. Like, I relate to the light bulb. No, like, if I told you, hey, you got to invent your own light bulb if you want to, like, have electricity in your house, everyone would be pitch It'd be pitch black everywhere. You never see anything because no one's going to invent the light bulb.
Mhm.
The second one is you could tell like people to go out there and follow the instructions to make one. There's manuals out there. Or you could just go buy a light bulb nowadays and focus on other things in your life. There's so many things where this is where people have brought the world. If we want to honor the world and go forward and build a legacy, it's building upon the breakthroughs of other people.
Yeah.
And the best mentors will always bring people up to where they're at and say, hey, you build upon where I'm at and keep going. Keep innovating. Let's keep growing.
Man, powerful, dude. Powerful information, man. So look, I will give you this quote. It's from the book. And I want you to just tell me, because some people don't understand. It's the small things, right? And so the quote says, you will never change your life until you change something you do daily. Man, just what was that one thing that you changed daily?
So let's break this down. Every person gets taught to have goals. Like, I want to lose 60 pounds. I want to make 100,000 or $1 million or whatever it is. I want to own this car. I want to buy this thing, whatever the goal is. And men are generally more motivated by things, and women are generally way better with people. And so each one has these different motivations of things that they want and things that they desire. And each person has a goal of these things. And so what do? Imagine this in gym terms. I think that everything in life really relates to itself. So imagine someone goes to the gym and they want it. They want to lose, like I was 6 pounds overweight. I want to lose 60 pounds. I want it. I'm so motivated. They go to the gym and they're like, lose 60 pounds, lose 60 pounds, lose 60 pounds. And they're like, what do I do? They're like, oh, I guess I'll get on the elliptical a little bit and I'll get on the treadmill a little bit. And they're like, I don't know if I'm successful. Did I do enough? Did I do too much? I'm going to be so sore tomorrow. It's all this constant state of anxiety. And so the next way to think about it is we have goals so that we can create plans. You talk about until we change something every single day, something daily that we do, something very small. So the shift was you have a goal. I want to lose 60 pounds. So you can either find someone, or if you already have the knowledge, to put together a plan. What is required to lose 60 pounds? And this is ever changing. This is why you have accountability. This is why you have check-ins. This is why you have progress reports. This is why businesses meet together and go, where's our quarterly review? Yeah. We want to see, based on the actions we're producing or doing, what type of results are we producing? Mm-hmm. So the next phase is, well, if we want to produce $3,000 a day to hit the $1 million mark, well, then how much do we need to make a quarter? How much do we have to make every week? How much do we have to make a day? And if we need to make that much a day, what do we need to do every day in order to hit that goal? Mm. And all of a sudden, we can now take goals or transformation in our life from, oh, man, I just want this life, which is very overwhelming. Overwhelmed, the definition is just not knowing the next step. Mm. So people are in a constant state of overwhelm, even if they're dreaming. Like, oh, I want it. But you go to the gym all day and you can say how much you want it. And it really doesn't matter. Like, I always tell people, whether you're the devil or you're Jesus or you're a good person or you're a bad person, if you cook an egg on a pan the certain amount of time and you flip it at the right time, it's going to taste good. Yeah. Like, there's formulas in life. And you put together the plan on what can I do daily to be able to do this. And now you know when you're successful, you have a plan. You show up to the gym and you go, I'm going to walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes. I'm going to lift these weights. I'm going to then cool down here. And you know when you're successful because you have a plan and a boundary that if I do these things, I will check in on my progress every 2 weeks, but I'm going to focus on what I can control. See, the difference is that you can control walking, stretching, and lifting. You can't control lose 10 pounds, lose 20 pounds, lose 60 pounds. That's out of your control. We only have that so we can build a plan, because the actions we take daily is going to transform our life. And one of the biggest things for me was inside this place of taking responsibility. I remember inside of my book, Modern Day Businessman, I talk about this epiphany I had when it was like, I realized that if it's meant to be, it's up to me. I had been hoping like, oh man, maybe this podcast will go viral and everyone will come and buy my stuff. I was always hoping that something outside of myself would change my situation. And I was sitting there and I was like, what if I actually just attacked my day with like, if I actually wanted to grow this business or lose the weight, it was actually up to me to do it. Yeah. And it made me realize that all these superpower and like TV shows of Marvel and all this stuff, they have it backwards where they say with great power comes great responsibility. You've heard this?
Yeah.
Yes. When you have great power comes with great responsibility. If you're the president of the United States, that's a lot of responsibility. Everything you do, like, shakes the entire world, right? If America sneezes, the whole world catches a cold. They say, like, everything goes crazy. Yet, what I found even more so is what qualifies someone to get into leadership. What qualifies someone to live a life of power? Like, how do you get into great power? I get that if I get there, then I have great responsibility. But people don't really just stumble into power. Like, just very rarely does that happen. Yeah. Very rarely you go, oh man, I created this multi-billion-dollar company. It's so weird. Like, you don't stumble into this stuff.
No, sir.
I realize that it's backwards. It's with great responsibility. You take great responsibility is where you get great power. And that shift for me was everything. I'm like, as soon as I started saying, what does it look like for me to take responsibility fully of this situation? I got my power back. And now it's actually proven that you don't actually decrease stress and anxiety by getting rid of responsibilities. You actually decrease stress and anxiety by taking on responsibilities. This is why people that say, I can't wait to retire, the average person dies in 3 years. No vision, no responsibilities, nothing to live for.
Yeah.
They die. The promise of hope is everything and vision is everything. You look at the Holocaust, people would stay alive on grains of rice. But they actually weren't alive on nutrients or water or any of that. They were alive on hope. The hope of seeing a family member, the hope of something in the future that's better than their current reality.
Yeah.
And when they got wind that a family member had passed away, the average person died in 3 days.
Come on, man.
Because they had nothing to live for anymore.
Yeah.
They got sick, disease, and died. Vision and hope. There's many people that live in a great environment so they can walk around without vision and without hope. And this is where they talk about most people die at 25, but they're just not buried till 75.
Yeah, man.
And the most wealthy place in the world is in the graveyard. Why? Because that's where all the dreams, that's where all the ideas, that's where all the inventions, that's where all the potential goes, which means there's a lot of opportunity for everyone else. So taking great responsibility produces great power. It's meant to be. It's up to me. And taking the goals from I have this big goal, I'm so excited to accomplish it, to maybe mastermind some of your friends. Be like, hey, what do you think would take? Like, how many calls would I need to make? How many reps would I need to do? Like, how much intentional time should I spend with my kids or wife? What's a great plan going forward from here to produce this result I want in my life? And let's check in on it after 2 weeks. And if it's not doing anything and you're not losing any weight, well, then we just need to change the actions. And we take that power back into, these are things I can control. And those are the things that will transform your life. You pick your head up in a year and you just follow a plan in health, and you just go for a whole year, I'm going to just follow what this coach says. You think you're not going to transform?
Come on, man. Yeah, man.
Success is simple, just not easy to do.
The biggest thing you said, though, like you said, you find somebody who's doing it, and then their ceiling becomes your floor, and then you go from there, man. But thinking about what you say about hope, as a school administrator, man, during this time that we're going through right now, hope is all I got, man. Because everything is changing. We got kids getting sick. We got so much that's happening. And so it's like, as you lead, you got to stand up straight, even when on the back end you say it's getting weak right here. So man, that hope is everything.
Dude, schools is like where we need to put a focus too. It's like we take kids from spending all the time with their family in the world to throw in 80% of their time in school. That we should like invest in that area and like really like make sure it's good. You know what I mean? Like it should be a focus.
That's it, man.
It's a very interesting thing. It's a very hard job. It's not easy. I mean, it shapes the future of our entire world is our kids. So, man, I think that that's a very tough area to be in, and is something that I hope to influence in the future.
Hey, look, man. We got me now. We can work together on this, man.
Yeah.
Hey, so just a week or so ago, you had the conference, right? I'm talking with the pictures. The bathtub picture was crazy with the ice. That was real.
740 pounds.
Come on, man. One of the I guess the qualifications was that you had to be pushing the business 6 figures.
Yeah.
If I'm not okay. So from me just looking at the pictures, I'm looking at the camaraderie. I'm looking at the way it's looking like this is changing lives, right? And you just snapshotting it piece by piece. No conversation, but you can tell it's going down.
Yep.
And what did I say? We got to put some brothers in there next time, man. I'm going to have to jump in there, man. And so
I agree. And what's funny is that like that photo was edited a little bit.
Yeah.
So everyone just looked pale.
Yeah.
It was like even all the guys in there that are like, I'm like not even from this country. They were all like, but that's I agree though.
Hey, man.
I think that maybe if it wasn't water, you know what I'm saying? Like it just I'm just kidding. I think that I'm 100% on board, man. Like we got to get you there and got to bring some of that awesome influence. There's so much to learn from each and every person. My best friend, Kevin Stimpson, he's the one that helped build our brand. And I've learned so much from him and him being a part of this community. And it's awesome, man. I agree.
Yeah, man. I just say I'm on the clock. When's the next, it's annual, correct?
So this one that I just did is part of our mastermind. I open it up for people that couldn't go. We had extra beds. It's a private, like yearly membership that we have, that we host these events where guys can fly out, stay in the same house, but we're talking these are 2 4-story houses with 60 beds overlooking the water in Florida. So it's not like, everyone's crammed in the same room or something, though we do some of that as well. Not everything is all about like making everything easy. I want to build the connection, the camaraderie, the stuff that people get in sports teams, the stuff people get in military, the stuff that people get in fraternities that they never get again afterwards. And especially not with people that all want to build a business and have a great family. And so we create that dynamic of brotherhood again, where it's like, wow, like we're all together and we feel connected. There's no like everyone's in suits the whole time, any of this stuff. So the next event that I have though, where everyone can come, is actually BDB Live, October 8th through 10th. 8th like the nighttime session, 9th and 10th is full day. We do a lot of different things there. I rent out the entire restaurant at the hotel. So each day for lunch, I already paid for them all. So people just sit down and eat so they can all connect there together. They're not going out for lunch. For our VIP tickets, which I believe is all we have, is I have Perry's Steakhouse, which is like one of the best steakhouses here in Texas. I have a 80-person room already rented, already paid for. Some of our speakers are going to be there networking, and we've just had amazing just epiphanies, but deals go down, like deals and business partnerships and funding and all these crazy things go down inside of those dinners. That's not even including the fact that we have connection calls before we get there so people connect, and the actual speakers in the room, which I've not even talked about yet. And so we create this unique experience where it's not just like another business conference, because I'm assuming being in the education world, sometimes you have to go to these conferences,
you know how it is,
listen to lectures and stuff. Again, we believe in disciplined, hard work, listening, note taking.
Yes, sir.
Built with experiences and being ingrained and immersing yourself where you're interactive, which is something that's never been taught in school. At least I got in trouble for it. I was a kid that blurted things out loud, and everyone thought I was annoying, and I'd get kicked out of the room, not knowing that if you listen, you can retain up to 10% of information, take notes is 25, and if you interact with what's going on, you can retain up to 80% of what you're learning. So we create this really interactive experience where people learn how to grow their businesses and all these different things, yet leave there with friends, leave there with a different identity at a different level. And that's October 8th through 10th at bdblive.com, which is available to anyone that's a man that runs a business or wants to run a business. That's something inside of you that, go try to find something better and then let me know so that we can beat it.
Yeah, there you go, man. Look, I think I'm about to go ahead and check on that. That's going to be my springboard to catch it up for the next event.
Heck yeah.
So, man, talk to us about the BDB podcast, man. All the success. Do you still have it going? And how do we find it? What is it about? Because you got the connects.
100%. So I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of interviews over the last few years, some private. I do have some, like the last one I just did today, completely private. There's some of my favorite. They could talk about things they can't say publicly that they wouldn't talk about. And it's to all men. So it's a whole nother dynamic. And a lot of business stuff nowadays, especially in influencer, coaches, all that stuff, the vast majority of the market's women. So everyone's catering and speaking to women all the time.
Mhm.
And there's nothing wrong. Like my wife goes to women's events. I'm just not a woman, so I'm not going to act like I know what it's like to be a woman.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Mhm.
Because we work on the man in the business, not just the business around the man, right? I'm not just talking about marketing. It's how do you get to the place where you can apply the marketing strategies powerfully, where you can grow the company and not implode your entire life.
Yeah.
So inside the B2B podcast, the whole point was like, I was great friends with John Lee Dumas, and he has Entrepreneur on Fire. And I'm like, I don't want to start a podcast because then I'll just start it because he has a podcast and he's influencing me. I don't want to do that. And my wife has a dream one night and she says, I think we need to start a podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how can you deny a dream? A little dream, like falling asleep, had a podcast, we got to do it. We launch it. This thing takes off. We're talking already 100 5-star reviews. Number 1 new and noteworthy for 8 weeks. Number 34 in the nation in some of the categories that we're in. We're just like, this is insane.
Yeah.
And over the last couple of years, we've continued to steward and maintain that growth and impact, guys, through that podcast. It's called $1 Billion Brotherhood. You could find it anywhere. And really, it was all about that same thing of how can I bring in the best people in the world that people would invest $5,000, $10,000, $100,000, whatever it is, to listen to and extract information from, and allow my investments to be able to give back to the guys out there so they can have an epiphany themselves and possibly even go, wow, I've tasted and seen that what these guys talk about is impactful to me. I want to come and be a part of this community. I want to buy a book, or as people know, you go to the $1 Billion Brotherhood Facebook group and watch 5 videos. My team literally ships out a book for free with no credit card on file. We only take your address so we can actually write it on the thing. Other than that, we don't need anything. We don't do free plus shipping. You can go buy my book. Go ahead. But you can actually, I give physical copies away for free for watching 5 videos, which literally just get people connected to the podcast, get them connected to the other guys, get them connected to the community. And that's my heart, is to get that message out there, because I know that if more people hear it, it gets us one step closer to our end goal, which is redefining what it means to be a businessman, changing the dictionary definition, where you cannot be called a businessman without prospering health, wealth, and relationships. It's a total embodied lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it will take the example of transforming households of these men to transforming cities. And our goal is to consult every major world leader on how they should run their country.
That's it, brother. That's it, man. And I will say, me, I was scrolling through, man, but I'm always looking to better myself, and I'm hungry and I'm doing it. And so I see this book, like you say, free. Of course, hit the button, man. And here we are today, man, from that. So, man, that just
and if you got the PDF version, that's great. But if you haven't watched the units, I think they call it guides now. Inside the Facebook group, you join $1 Billion Brotherhood. You fill out the information for the people that haven't, and you go to guides, watch 5 videos, and you fill out a form, and we literally ship out a physical copy of the book. Man. It's like a thank you.
Man, I'll be checking that out tonight. Hey, so man, I got a lunch this week, this Friday, Saturday. So I got the midnight motivation, where I'll be speaking on what you're talking about today, just life. I think about my mantra, what I give my kids, like dream, believe, do, repeat. And so then we steady just keeping it going. So just thinking back to me at 9, telling my grandmother I was going to be a high school English teacher, and then going through life, and keeping it, and finally doing something. And 2 years before she died, I was able to say I became that, right? And so then it just started going from there. And it's so like there's a whole plethora of information of just going to it, coming now to saying, okay, I have to get this out. I want to start sharing it with people. Hired a firm. They are doing an official launch for me here in Houston. What words of wisdom do you have for me? Anything to share that I need to do to set this off a little extra this Saturday?
So break it down for me. Tell me exactly what you want to do, and then like I said, then we'll go back and figure out action steps, right? Goal, and then we'll work it backwards.
So the goal is to launch this speaking business, because it's going to be speaking. I've written a few community books. Remember, I'm education, but I'm staying inside the lane. So we did a few community books. And so the goal is really to be able to keep going within that. But now this Saturday, I want to launch this business, and I want to do it the right way. So now this short-term goal is to have a great lunch to really show up and bring the best me.
Totally. So here's a few things that I would do if I was in those shoes. That I make more and there's some people that are like the exception, but I make more speaking for free than most people make speaking for as a business.
Yeah.
And meaning that when you have a company that serves and isn't directly disconnected, a lot of people, they have a business and then they go speak. They have a business and then they go speak, or speaking is the business. Either way, what I feel is the most impactful is getting opportunities. And one of the best ways to get opportunities is to be easy to work with, be readily available, and not cost money, right? Because it's like if someone's like $2,000 and then you're not, yeah, they could possibly look at it and say, well, must not be valuable, but that's without a relationship building. And that's always going to be a big piece of launching the career, getting the message out there. Yes, and the goal is then to create products and services that serve the greater vision of what you're speaking about. So when I go speak somewhere, I don't need to, I don't need to charge anything if I don't want to. I can, but I don't need to. And when I was first starting out, I was just like, I'm going to take every opportunity possible. And I didn't want to get into that. I'm like, listen, at first it was nothing. Hey, I'll go anywhere. I'll fly there. I'll serve. I would serve and then I'd connect my butt off and I'd meet everyone because I had products and services that could serve the people that were interested in my topics afterwards. And so I'd leave there and I'd be like, wow, we did $50,000 in sales. We did $100,000 in sales. We did $20,000 in sales. I'm like, how much did they pay the keynote speaker? And a lot of times, never that. But I'll speak 10 times more because they're like, this guy always shows up on time. He's and then it turned into they covered my expenses only expenses. I'm like, I don't want anything. Just give me the opportunity to speak this message in front of the people. And I know that the right people will come up, will attract the right people. And I've already mastered the message. And I just need an opportunity to get it out there. Outside of that, though, I would say the biggest thing is not being tentative of using other people's platforms. A lot of times people want to build their own platform. I think that's very smart, cultivating your own community. The fastest way to build a community is to tap into other people's communities. Same with podcasts. It's like you want to grow a podcast, great. You could talk about it all day. But if you get on podcasts, the people that are listening, they listen to podcasts. So it's very easy to get them to go listen to your podcast. And so collaborating in that way is really, really big, I believe, is finding things of value that you can do to serve other people's communities. And when you get in front of those people and you absolutely slay it, you have great talking points, you have great charisma, great energy, things that are transformative, and you don't have to worry about trying to just close the deal with speaking, but you have a company that supports the people that come in that are attracted to speaking. When I spoke at Funnel Hacking Live in 2019, this is a 5,000 person sample size. And I'm talking, I mean, even years later, I'm about to go back, everywhere I go, people will remember when I spoke there and want to talk about things. They're attracted to my backstory or what I went through, the business I created. And that's created tons of back end revenue for our company. But I didn't charge anything. They paid for my hotel room. Like they paid my expenses. But I wasn't going to charge. Like they could get Tony Robbins, or they do get Tony Robbins. The people. And if you want that opportunity, you can make more through serving and giving. The same way I do with my book. People sell their book to make money. I give my book away every day. It's like, how? Well, because when they read my book, they want a percentage want what I have. And they want to go buy it. But the ones that don't, they don't need to. They still got the free book. They can apply everything. And so same thing goes with speaking. I always ask, like, how can I go to that next level? And again, charging to speak is awesome. It's just like, at first, those are some of the best ways where you leave there and you make more money than every speaker there. But it's because they're like, man, I need to learn what you have. I need to work with you. I need some of that. And you get more of those opportunities. You take them with podcasts. Media page is huge. You go to nicholasbayerle.com/press. Like you'll see like sick sizzle like you did at the intro. You'll see like all the different things I've been featured in. Bios. I mean, headshots, images, already ready to go. Everything that they would ever need. They're like, this is the easiest guy in the world to work with. So making their life easy is really cool, man. But you got great charisma. And realizing that everyone always cares about two things. What have you done and accomplished, or what are you the best at? And in a sea of loud noise, the thing that comes across after that is having a relationship, building trust, and having a good story. Right? If I were to say, I had a kid come to me who does marketing for e-commerce, physical products marketing online. And I go, okay, like, what about it? Like, you know how many people I know that do that?
Mhm.
Like, nothing special. It's like the person that comes to you and goes, yo, I'm a realtor. If you ever need to buy a house, you know who to go to. You're like, what? Like, I know like 15 other realtors. Why would I buy my house from you? I have no relationship with you.
Yeah.
So finally, I talked to this kid that did the e-commerce marketing, and I pull a story out of him, right? The mess to message. Why did you get into this? Why should I buy from you? And he goes, well, I created this physical product, this supplement, and I sold a ton of it. I did all the marketing, we sold it, and like the manufacturing was jacked up, the product sucked, and it totally flopped. I was like, okay, well, that's not that good. And so then he tells me about how he tried another supplement. He got a green tea powder, and he was doing the marketing and selling it like crazy, but he never told his merchant processor that he was selling a supplement, a food product, and he got shut down, and they charged him 30 grand and all this stuff.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, I think you're a criminal. Like,
Yeah.
what's the deal? What are you doing with this? And he goes, well, that's when I realized I'm terrible at these products, but I'm so good at the marketing. What if I went to people that had amazing products, but they didn't know how to market them online? He's like, since then, I've been able to connect with this company, this company, this company. We took them from here to here with the online digital advertising. So that's why I started the agency. And I go, why didn't you say that in the first place? That's way better than I do e-commerce, marketing. Like, I was like, I needed to hear that little bit to make me go, every time I talk to someone now, I always think of his story. Every time I hear someone who's in e-commerce, I'm like, who does your digital advertising? You wouldn't believe this guy.
Yeah.
And so it's like that story, that mess to message, that purpose behind it. That's what helps people stand out. And the only thing that hosts care about, though, if they don't have that rapport, is what are you the best at, or what have you accomplished, which is pretty shallow. So usually what I try to do is get an in, build a relationship.
Yeah.
And through those relationships, man, it's like that's everything.
Hey, man, you can't say it enough. Your network is your net worth.
100%. I mean,
yes, sir.
Russell Brunson, it's like when people go, oh, how'd you get on that stage? It's like, well, I went to his event, investment, went to his event again, investment, joined his high-ticket mastermind, $50,000, renewed another year. And at that point, I got on a stage and he got to hear me speak. And he was like, we need to have you there. Yeah. You need to speak on the stage in front of 5K. And it's like, that process is difficult. Like, there was no guarantee that was ever going to happen. There's another 100,000 people that would have loved that position. And so it's a lot of times it's investing in those relationships, and like, you don't know what you're going to get from it. You don't invest to get something out of it. Yeah. You just continue to serve. And one of the ways I do it with events is I tell people, hey, what would be a slam dunk speaker for you? Maybe I have a connection. Maybe I can try to help. And a lot of times they're like, they look at you and go, no. Everyone else, all they do is just say, hey, if you need a speaker, I'm here. Yeah. And they're like, okay, like, I don't know who you are, but, rather than like, hey, I love the event you're putting on. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to buy 5 tickets from my friends. Do you need any connections to any speakers or anything? I'm sure you fully are booked up, but who's like a slam dunk? Like, is it The Rock? Is it like, who is it? Like, who would be like the best speaker? And then they start dreaming. They start being vulnerable. They start saying, oh, Gary Vaynerchuk would be great.
Come on, man.
This person would be amazing. And you're like, great, let me see if I could try to help. And they're like, no one's ever done this. Everyone just always says, who you want me to speak? I'll speak. Dude, every day. Someone tells me, hey, man, I'd love to speak at your event. Hey, man, I'd love to be on your podcast. No one ever says, dude, I love your podcast. I just listened to this episode. I just subscribed, rated, reviewed. I actually just shared it with 3 of my friends. Really appreciate what you're doing. How can I help? What's a guest that you'd want? Do you take more guests? Like, what could I do to help? And I go look at them, and if they're legit, I'm like, damn, I should probably get them on. I go, hey, I appreciate it, but dude, you want to do a show together? Yeah. And they didn't even ask. And this is a strategy that I use every single day.
Come on, man.
Who would you like? And they go, whoa, Nicholas Bayerle, multi-7 figures, like did carpet cleaning, whatever. Dang, I should ask him. You want to be on? And I go, me? Oh, man, sure. Yeah. I didn't even use my ass.
Yeah. Come on, man. Come on, man.
They think I'm doing them a favor.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing you a favor. That was just called a strategy.
Yeah, that's it, brother. Come on, man. Noted. I got it. But the thing is, it's speaking that you say the Gary V. I remember this all started because he put out the Pear Deck, right? Just it was a deck, and I did everything that was on the deck, but I did it all myself. But then over that time, I learned that I made these videos and I keep these clips of this content coming out, and I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. And so then I just kept hustling, man. And so finally, I got into the speaking. So now October 30th, I got the TED Talk coming up. Then I applied to be a TED Fellow. But all of this while still staying in my lane of school and just education, but still building the community around.
I mean, it's a phenomenal place, though, too. Schools have budgets.
Yeah.
And they do, like colleges as well.
Yeah.
Huge budgets. There's a whole speaking industry that's just speaking to colleges. James Malinchak has a book called How to Speak at Colleges.
Yeah. And
it's like a breakdown of how to speak at colleges. And so everything you're doing is like 100% right on, man. I think that you're in a great spot. And,
yes,
it's like studying the greats. Like Les Brown is like someone that I've always looked up to in the speaking arena. Because he's a guy who deserves to be paid to speak. Because he's like that good. Every time I hear him speak, I'm like, holy, this guy's amazing.
Yeah, man.
And so you have a lot of those same similarities that it's unique. It's like what people want. I have another guy that we have come speak at our events, and he just has a presence, sometimes it's not just the content that's valuable. It's also the way people feel. That's super valuable, and it's sometimes a lot more valuable than information. Anyone can read from a textbook.
Yeah, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
Totally.
Yeah, I got you, man. So, Ben, as we wrap it up, give us the contact information again. How do we find you? How do we find the work? How do we get the free book?
100%. So Nicholas Bayerle on Instagram, if we want to connect on social, I talked about my free physical copy of the book, which they can go to the $1 Billion Brotherhood on Facebook, and it's a group. Cross the join, put in your info, and then you'll get directed to watch just quick 5 videos, and you get the physical book for free. You could obviously shortcut and go buy it on Amazon if you're that guy. You're like, I don't want to wait. I know how that feels as well. And we talked about the live event. That's BDB, like $1 Billion Body, $1 Billion Brotherhood, BDB live, like in person, .com.
Yeah, man. One more thing before we go. What just hit me was suicide. And so thinking about the beginning of the book and what you went through.
Yeah.
And thinking this all started because I lost my brother to suicide. And so it was like how we always talked about social media. We always talked about putting things out. And I said, how do I use that part? So I grieved for all of June as he died, May 31st. July 1st was my birthday, dude. I sit with me and a friend of mine and a microphone between us, no visuals. And that was the first podcast. And I said, I got to get this out. I got to go. I got to do it. And so once again, to talking to you, brother, I'm on the right track. So I'm going to keep pushing, man.
Heck yeah, dude. It's one of those things where it's like you can't make bad things go away, but you can make them cause great things.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I thought of. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to just take it and do something really, really big. Similar to what's going on in the world. I was working out in the gym and I posted, I said, I'm preparing for war. Not because of war, it's not like I'm going to war, but I'm like, I need to fight for my family.
Yeah.
I need to fight for my kids. No one's going to, again, responsibility. I thought, no one's going to protect my family for me. Like, I can't think that way. Of course, I'm glad that there's police and firefighters and teachers and all these things. But I'm like, I can't just not do anything with my life. Like, I need to show up and take bad things that are happening in the world and cause it to make me better. How can I get the message out there more? How can I work harder? How can I help more people and allow these wake-up calls to get me to do more good? Yeah. So I'm like, the more bad things that happen, the more good people are rising up. And it's just like, just something to show bad things that all it's doing is helping the cause.
Yeah. That's it, brother. All right, man. That will do it for us. Once again, thank you for the time, brother.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. This is the KT. Hey, this is KT. For KTTV signing out. 100.
This is Darnell with Broadcast Houston.
This is Dr. Tamara Beckford.
Hey, this is Candace.
This is London Underwood.
This is Kirsten Bass with Inner City Greens, and you're watching.
Y'all are now tuned in to
KTTV.
KTTV.